This is week number 2 of the 7-week regular season. That'll be followed by 2 weeks of playoffs. And I'm looking forward to that. But we are jumping into game number 1 of this final match of the day. It is going to be UCSD, University of California, San Diego, playing the Patron Warrior, and the University of California, Irvine, playing what looks to be a token druid, but it could also be just a mid-range druid with a Violet Teacher.
And that's sort of where my thought process is. You know, when you have the extra ramp spells with the Aspirant, you probably want a couple extra 4-drops to throw in there. And so, you know, very early on, players like Amnesia was experimenting with Chill Wind Yeti.
Yeah. Just
to have that extra 4-drop. I think Violet Teacher provides you with a little bit extra that you don't normally get from Druid. Now, the problem with this is how the 1/1 tokens line up versus a deck like Grim Patron.
Yeah. Looks like UCSD, one of their roommates came in and says, "Why are you guys all sitting on a couch really close to each other playing Hearthstone?"
And they're just going to ignore him and continue playing Hearthstone. They go, "Hey, we got $100,000 to win, buddy. You make your sandwich."
You go to that fridge. All right, well, it looks like we are getting underway. Living Roots as well. Well, that might give us an indication that it might be going more towards token.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Power of the Wild in a build like this. But, you know, the big story here is going to be how this deck lines up versus a deck like Grim Patron, which oftentimes, you know, prior to Secret Paladin really becoming a thing, I referred to this deck often as the Whirlwind deck, because that aggro Paladin deck had gained so much traction that all the Whirlwind effects really shut it off. And this feels to me like a very similar style matchup. Irvine is going to curve out here with this Darnassus Aspirant, maybe even go to the Violet Teacher this turn. But the problem is these 1/1 tokens get checked so easily by all the Whirlwind effects in here. If there's one Execute or one Despite on the other side of the board, things can go awfully awry. You'll get in some damage, but again, with all of these early game cards, you're not like a typical Druid deck. Typical Druid decks like to kind of get a little bit of early game going and then have tons of 5+ drops in the mid and late stages of the game. If this deck gets to the mid-late stages of the game and they can't close out, they're going to be drawing 1- and 2-cost cards instead.
Yeah, we got those names clarified for you. UC San Diego and UC Irvine. And it looks like San Diego here is just going to attack him in the Fire War Axe over a couple turns, maybe throwing a Whirlwind. And
I think you just Savage Roar. I think you just get him.
Yeah, San Diego is going for the long plan. And if you're UC Irvine, you have to recognize that. He's going to take 6 damage just from smacking that Violet Teacher twice. So
I mean, this is potentially lethal damage next turn.
Yeah.
They have to take care of the situation very cleanly. Thankfully for them, they have a Whirlwind in their hand. But again, look at the cost that this is coming at. They're going to be at 9 HP.
But Patron Warriors do stabilize quite well. And we're looking at UC Irvine having only 4 available mana. Even with the Darnassus Aspirant, going to that next turn, they would only have 6 available. They can't cycle with the Wrath, but can they even muster up enough damage to finish this game before San Diego just runs away with it? Because they just don't have anything to plop on the board that's going to be threat.
I certainly think they can. I mean, say they just attack for 1 with the hero power. Say they just don't take care of the Acolyte of Pain. Play Darnassus Aspirant, say go. Maybe your opponent doesn't check it. You have Savage Roar and hero power.
It's true. Very true.
I mean, at this point, Irvine has played their hand face up, and I think they got to play to their outs here. And that's the problem with playing with your hand face up, is that the other player gets a chance to really sniff it out. They're going to go with the Wrath here. They want to play it safe. They cycle Wrath on their own Aspirant?
Like it. They did.
This is a really clever play. And what this says here is, every time Acolyte of Pain gets damaged, the player with Acolyte of Pain is going to draw cards. So they don't want to just cycle it and give San Diego extra draws. Instead, they would rather put damage on their own guy because it's not contested on board. And any of the damage that San Diego is going to have is going to kill it anyway. This also denies Slam from drawing a card. And honestly, I kind of like this play because of what it really does to San Diego's hand. I mean, this was really well thought out because this was the situation anyway. They would have just given up an extra card had they chose to do it another way around.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with this, though, is rolling into 5 mana. Well, you talk about 5 mana draws. That's about the best one you're going to get.
Yellow. That's a Druid of the Claw.
Now, even despite that, they may choose to go with the Aspirant here and try to find a bigger combo turn with that Druid of the Claw. Maybe look to charge it and use Savage Roar on the same turn. But there are lots of ways to play this game. The one thing I don't want to see them do is taunt this up. I think if you taunt this up, you have given away a lot of your potential reach in this game. Your opponent has just drawn a ton of cards, You didn't see Execute on the Violent Teacher, so that may give you the indication that you want to taunt it up instead. But 5 fresh cards have already been seen, and they're going to see a 6th one. So if you taunt this, you're really running a big risk of your opponent having Execute.
Yeah, they're channeling the power of the beard to try and give them help in making their decision.
This is a tough call, too, because, again, if you just charge this out there and your opponent has any way to stabilize, you've once again lost a lot of your damage. But, again, I think their hands just face up at this point. I think they have to go for it.
Yeah. Good call. I like it. And still, you're forcing UC San Diego to have an answer.
And that's the big point here, too, is at 5 life, I guarantee you San Diego's not comfortable with this. They feel like they need to armor up at this spot, because just Force of Nature now will end the game. So if they choose to slam and then use the Cruel Taskmaster on this, they only have 3 mana left.
Yeah, they armor up, and that's their whole turn.
Yeah, so maybe they slam Execute instead. Either way, not a comfortable spot to be in. I mean, this is the power that this aggression has provided, and that was just with 1 Savage Roar. If they had had a turn to play that second Savage Roar, this game would have ended on turn 4.
Yeah. And 5 mana, it's still so early in the game at this point that...
Looking for shield block.
Yeah, that would be a great out. Dread Corsair is great if you have the weapon. It's a great tempo tool to block some damage. But, I mean, at this stage, they just armor up is pretty much the only thing. You have to play around those outs. Because even Druid of the Claw wouldn't have done it, but Emperor Thorsan, that is a big threat that demands an answer.
Now, here's the only problem with this play, is that now Force of Nature isn't going to be lethal when they armor up. So losing that hero power is actually making quite a bit of difference in this spot. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't play Emperor Thorsan. They definitely should, because if their opponent doesn't have a way to kill a 5/5, the game is over. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes this will happen as well. Your opponent is able to play multiple threats, get some extra armor out of this, and Execute is just back-breaking here. They have to chew through so much damage now because of what this Unstable Bull and the Armor Smith is doing to this board position. And Azure Drake may be a start, though.
That might have been a point of stabilization for UC San Diego, though. It's really hard to get through Unstable Ghoul plus Armor Smith without giving a Patient Warrior an absurd amount of health.
Which is the big problem with it. So at this point with the Violet Teacher drawn, I mean, here's the thing. They have drawn what I feel like is their top end at this point.
Yeah.
Ancient Allure is probably in here, but outside of that, you're looking at something Power of the Wild. You're looking at more Living Roots.
Yeah. Look at this Battle Rage. I mean,
can you afford to Battle Rage, though?
I think so. The Battle Rage, you're drawing 3 cards. That's a lot of potential outs that you could draw into. I mean, what else are you going to do? You can No Wish Inventor for 1 card. Dread Corsair, I mean, you can still do that anyway.
The thing I'm seeing is that Unstable Ghoul is providing you a pretty sizable defense at this point. So you might be able to just justify playing, like,
Emperor Thorsan
or Grim Patron or just armor up.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mind the Battle Rage. I mean, picking up 3, I'm never going to argue with drawing 3 cards.
Well, Slam here allows them to take out the Azure Drake completely.
I think they're going to go for Deathbite.
Deathbite, yep. And they can play the Dread Corsair as well to give them an extra layer of defense. Not worried about taking that 4 damage, because the Dread Corsair is going to block pretty much 4 just by that alone, slamming into it because of the Armor Smith being on the board.
Yeah, the attack here also is really peculiar too, because this will make sure the Darnassus Aspirant dies even if it attacks the Unstable Ghoul. But I'm not sure that's really that big of a problem when you take a look at your hand. Like, dealing an extra point of damage I don't think is going to be the big difference in this one, but keeping that Armor Smith around definitely might. And,
whoa.
Is that enough?
I think it is.
So that's going to be 4 damage into the Dread Corsair, 2 damage in the Unstable Ghoul. Your opponent's going to gain 1, 2, 3 armor and be at 8, and you have plenty of damage left over.
I think that's it.
TJ, that Force of Nature draw combined with this early aggression is going to end this game.
Wow, and that was UC San Diego being what appeared to be probably 1 turn away from completely running away with an armor total that was out of reach of pretty much anything that UC Irvine could have thrown at them. But they pick up the Force of Nature right on time. They're going to be able to push through with plenty of overkill. Sorry, Armor Smith. Not going to be enough this time.
Yep. Trying to craft some armor for people, but this game was not making it.
Nope. Blizzard only gave her limited resources. Oh!
A little flare. And this is something else that I love seeing from these guys. You know, a lot of the pros in the scene are very reserved and very focused on the game. They rarely show emotion. But from the collegiate players, we see the personality come out almost every single match, and I love to see it.
Yeah. See, I don't even know where my printer is, but college guys, they know exactly what it is because they have to use it a lot. So it comes fresh in mind. You know what, guys? Wouldn't it be great if we printed out Craigasm onto a sheet of paper?